Well, welcome to my shop. Here we are. This is what we're going to do today. This is a piece of honey locust, and this is, I'm calling it a wok bowl. It really doesn't matter. It's just a bowl. It can be a salad bowl or a great big soup bowl. Who knows? But I'm going to show you how I made it. So here we go. It's an excellent demonstration of using the beaver in this thing. So you can see I did almost everything with just the beaver, inside and out, with very few other tools. And so, you know, if you guys like that beaver and you want one, email me at woodwhirler@gmail.com, and I will put you in touch with the guy that sells them. All right, let's get on. It's a big old piece of honey locust. Let's see how big it is. Well, these circles, this outer one is 14 inch and that one is 13. So I was hoping to get a little more than that. In fact, I thought about coming in here and making this into a wing bowl, but then I thought a wok bowl might be better. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this over to the chainsaw and whack it off here and do the corner chainsaw. Oh boy, wake up, Larry. I'm going to take it over to the bandsaw and whack this off and the four corners. I could do it on the lathe, but I'd rather go ahead and do it here, because I got to cut this anyway. So overall piece I'm dealing with is 16 by 15, and let's see, we're 5 inches deep. So that ought to make a pretty one. So when I get done with all that, I'll come back and we'll put a faceplate on it, and we'll put it on the lathe. And being I've got my lathe bolted down now, I want to see if it shakes still. This will be my first test, and I'm sure it'll be out of balance. Yeah, I got her whittled down, and I took the 4-inch Forster bit, and they're on a drill press and made me a nice flat. Otherwise it would have been cocked just a little. So I'm going to use 1 1/4 deck screws on it. This is a real solid wood, so I'm not too worried about it. And well, you're going to find out how solid when I start trying to turn it. Because I already know all about honey locust. It's probably the most beautiful wood out there, one of the most beautiful. But it's also one of the hardest. All right. Let's see. It's going the right way. When it hits the bottom and you hold and drill twist, you know you got a good one. All right, I got it on there. I hadn't spun it up yet. I'm anxious to see what difference it makes with it bolted down. So let's give her a hang here. Well, it makes all the difference in the world. Look at there. 600. There. Barely shakes. It's not shaking. It has a vibration to it. So I think we're ready to whirl, man. Well, there's a pith. I didn't know that was there. I ended up having to cut that down a little bit. I like that though. Well, let me get this finished right here, and then we'll smooth this out. I don't, rather than just like a lip right here, I think I'm just going to do like that. All right, I got it. Now we're going to make the recess. A lot of times I don't do recesses. Depends on the wood. If you got a good solid wood, I like a recess. But if you got something that's even questionable because you're going to be going out this way and it can break loose, I don't like a recess. It ought to give me enough if I do a deep one. May be too deep. I may have to, well, I may have to come take some of this off right here if it's too deep. Which I can do. The bowl, I'm gonna come in here and run around that anyway, so I can take this bottom off a little bit then. By then, it probably won't be exactly square anyway, because you know they all move. So, I think it's time to sand, my friends. It's sanding time. Every time I do this, somebody comes back, even though I say it 3 or 4 times, somebody comes back with a comment, what kind of sealer you use? Sort of like, well, it was written in the comments and I said it, but I never do that. Makes you wonder. Some people just don't pay attention, do they? All right, it is Minwax Cellulose Sealer by the gallon from Amazon. It is $49 a gallon, and it is 18 a quart. 18 a quart? I think 18 a quart. So, ooh, look at that. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. My goodness. I like this stuff. I use a lot of it and I'm not stingy with it. I want it to soak in, that's why I just lay it on there. Seen people put it on with paper towels and stuff, but I guess it works for them, but to me it don't look like it would soak in very good that way. They end up with beautiful projects, so I guess it works for them. Right. I'll let that sit a while. We'll come back and hit it with some 320 and then we'll do it again about 2 or 3 more times. Good morning, guys. Well, I'm out here again, as usual. I'm getting ready to sand this down, put another coat of sealer on it. I'll probably do that a couple more times couple more times, sorry. Hey, I gotta tell you something. This honey locust is wonderful wood. It's been out here all night long. There's not, and it had some moisture. I didn't measure it, but it wasn't totally dry, but it has 0 cracks and 0 warpage. Now, of all the honey locust things I've turned, what I found out mostly is they hold their own. Once you're done with the bowl, you know, it'll warp very little and very seldom crack. It's a very dense hardwood. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to sand it, and I want to show you. Let me give me a piece of paper here. Let me zoom in here because I want to show you something I think is pretty important. We may have to go in real far. Oh, that might get it. All right, I got a piece of 320 right here. And this has, right now it has 2 coats of sealer on it. Now I'm going to do this with the lathe turning, but I just want to show you this. But what we're trying to achieve here is we sand this. I may do it by hand, it's easy. Well, this is not showing it very well, but golly gee. Because it seemed to work out all right. Well, anyway, what you're looking for is when you sand it, you're looking for like shiny spots or shiny, you know, places in the grain and stuff. And what that tells you, that's lower than the rest of it. So you really need to get it all at the same level, whether it's sealer or whatever, if you want a super fine shine, because you cannot get a shine like I like to have if it's not really smooth. It's all in the preparation. You're not going to get a good finish if your prep isn't good. Now I may just go ahead and just do this whole thing like this because it's really easy. And I have more control this way. Whereas when I turn it, you know, I quit turning and look at it and I may have gone too far somewhere. Because this is easy enough, so it's not a big, almost cursed there. I almost said big ass deal, but I didn't. So anyway, that's what you do. And you look at it even at all angles and you're looking for shiny spots. So you see, I don't see any. Now right here, I'm probably going to have some here. But, you know, some of these you just, you know, I'd either have to fill this or really sand deep to get that in there. So I'm not going to do either one because, you know, you do have to leave some character. So what I'm really talking about is having like all, you know, shiny place right here where these different grains meet. You know, our little, like right up here. Now I know I'm going to have some up here because that's in grain. But sometimes you got to live with some of that. Now I can make a slurry and fix that. I might do it, but I don't know if I will or not. Because, you know, I'm really not trying to make a glass bowl. I just want it nice and smooth and somewhat shiny. Now here's the pith. And there's no cracks in it. If you remember right, I used thin CA and some of that real super fine. Here it is right here. Super fine. I call it super fine crack fixer. Now you get this on the inside of your vacuum bag, you know, on your dust collector. Even if you don't have one, you can just use a regular vacuum cleaner and you scrape off the inside of the bag, and that's just where it is. Super, super fine. It'll really get down in your cracks. And it helps a lot. And I tell you what, don't worry about it being a little different color, because a lot of people, they want to use the same shavings that comes off of here, and I'm telling you, unless it's drastically different, it doesn't make much difference, because even these shavings and a crack on this, when you put thin CA on it, they're going to show up because they're going to be darker. They're not going to be like invisible. They just ain't going to happen. It's going to show up like a blemish or whatever, and that's really what you want anyway. And you don't want it to be, you know, like I said, like a piece of glass or something. Now see, I'm still going to put some more sealer on this, and the reason for that is whenever I start putting the axe paste on it, I don't want to go through my sealer and hit raw wood because that'll make a dull spot. Or OB. I may try the OB juice again. It done pretty good last time. But quite frankly, you know, I could tell the difference, but it wasn't a remarkable difference. And see, all of these, they're looking pretty good there. And I'm looking for any tool marks that I may have to work on. Tool marks are a dead giveaway of you didn't finish your job. And see, I seen a little shiny place right there, so I sand a little harder right there till it comes out nice and flat, just like the rest of it. I almost got a shine already. So the matte finish, a little rough right in here, but that's going to be all right. All right. I'll see you later. I'm going to put a couple more coats of cedar on it, basically do the same thing, and then we'll start using paste and so forth. All right, I'm going to use a little axe paste on it. Let's see what happens. I got a little different method I'm using now than normal. There it is. And I'm going to show you here in a second if I can get some on here. I understand you're not supposed to be shy with it. I don't know if that's because they want to sell you more or because that's what is necessary. I just take their word for it and say you need to use more. My supply is going down pretty fast there. I used to not ever finish a bowl on the outside until I got the inside done. But I don't know, I guess I've got a little more proficient or something, what I do now, partially anyway. Of course, you can't finish this. All right. Now, the first thing you do is you spin her slow, get it all sort of worked in. This is where you get your work done as far as the sanding portion is concerned. Now, the shining portion comes when you turn it fast and build up some heat to cause that beeswax to melt. All right, here's where we differ. I'm going to use a Scotch-Brite pad. I'm going to whirl it up. Just about as fast as it'll go. It's on a good faceplate, so I'm not worried about it coming off. I can feel the heat through it. All right. Now I'm going to take a fresh paper towel. And see this new dollar shine coming through. Let's take a gander there. As usual, I don't touch them till they stop. Well, I'm saying that looks like a mirror and feels like a mirror. Still going to put some wax on it. I'm probably not going to go with any OBs. I really don't see how we could make it any better. So now I'm going to put some, I'm going to put the paste. They call it a paste, it's really a wax. I'm going to call it a polishing wax and restoring, like usual. It doesn't need restoring, it just needs a good waxing. All right, I pretty much got it on there, so now I'm going to sort of spread it a little bit. Just use a paper towel and turn it real slow, just like I did before. Just to get her all spread out. All right, find me a clean place. All right, here we go, 1 gram. Yeah, let's take a gander here. Outstanding. All right, well, I went to put this chuck on and it just wasn't fitting quite right, so I never paid much attention before, but I started looking at this thing right here real good, and you see it's got, the dovetail comes down to right there, and then it goes out flat, which means that your recess or mortise only needs to be that deep right there and not, not let that sit inside, which mine does. So that means I need to cut, it's too deep, so it means I gotta cut it down to where it only fits inside there. I hate to do it, but that's just the way it is, because if I put it in there, it's gonna fit up to about there, and it's not gonna have the advantage of the dovetail, which that's the whole purpose of the dovetail, is so that you got inside pressure so that, it doesn't come flying out on you. So I'm gonna do that. That shouldn't be a great big deal. But I mean, it only messed up this right here, and I was going to do it anyway, so big deal. All right, where are we? Don't want to get it too shallow either. I tell you, there's another fine use for the beaver, guys. Everybody should own one, or two. Nobody says you can't have two. All right. I am just a hair short of being where I want to go. Yeah, I may have to go with the smaller one first. If I can. Maybe not, it's doing pretty good. That ought to get it. Uh-oh. That's what I was talking about right there, see? It would have pulled out on me. Ooh, back up, Betsy. Even doing it like that, it wanted to hang. What that tells me is that there is some moisture in here somewheres. All right, it's another day again. The longer this thing sits here, the harder it's going to get. So I'm getting ready to hollow the inside out. And what I'll be using is I'll be using the beaver to do the roughing. And I'll probably be using a round cutter to clean the insides out, and then a bowl scraper. So I'm all set up. I've got my, I'll just show you here real quick, if I can move it. My little deal I made right here for a safety. It's a Jacob's chuck with a part of a drill rod on it. Now I just keep her in there like a live center. And what that does, if it comes off here, it's not going anywhere. That's why I like it. And it gives you plenty of room to cut up into here until you need to move this, which is, you don't need to move it till you're just almost done. So let's whirl it up and see what we got this morning. Hold on a minute, I'll do one other thing. It sit here all night. So what you need to do is just double check it the next morning, because your wood compresses. This wood, I doubt this wood will compress, but most woods do. This is pretty dry anyway. Hold on, let's do that too. We'll just have all kinds of fun here real quick. Let's turn this rascal on. I just want to know. Let's just check something right here. You don't even read. There you go. 9%. Yeah, 9%. That's okay. I can live with that. Makes it a little harder to turn, but that's life. This yonder's got a rough spot in it now, and I thought that was it. There you go. Whirl it away. Whirl it up, whirl it up, whirl it up, whirl it up. All right, I've got 2 coats of sealer on it. This is the second one. Needs a little bit of something there. All right, that was my last coat of sealer that made 4. That's enough. I don't want to push my luck. Yeah, here you go, guys. One more down. This is a big one. It's 14 by 4. Pretty thin, by a 1/4 inch right in here. It's light as a feather, considering as heavy as it was when it started. The only thing I like is I got to burn my signature in the bottom. It won't fit in the laser. So there it is. I'm going to take a few stills and you can look at it a little more in more depth. I like it. It's got this spalting right here. Looks nice inside. No tool marks. Call this a beaver special. Not really, but that's what it is. So I'll take a few stills and then we'll be wrapping this sapsucker up. So subscribe, call your friends, and guess what? Call your mama.